Hey all, I just picked up this D55 Guild. I'll do a video talking about the guitar, but just playing through it. I love this thing. God, I love it. And let's go through, break it in with a lesson on what I think is an underrated Who tune, underappreciated. The first thing you got to do is get where it's tuned and is there a capo, all that other stuff. So if you know, if you're familiar with Pete's songwriting tendencies, he does a lot of tunes where he has sort of a drone note going in it. Sometimes it's an A, sometimes it's a D, sometimes like on Pinball Wizard. You know, have a note that drones through it, usually a descending chord sequence. That's a Pete Townshend staple. It's all over the place in Who tunes. And this is another one. So when you hear that, because the chord shapes are going to be this. Open, well, a B note, but it also sounds like an open note, right? Because doing those chord shapes while trying to fret that note ain't going to work. So that's a B, so my inclination was, okay, let's slap a capo on. Now you got B. Right? But, if you listen, especially in the first, it's easier to hear it in the first half of the song, and you can hear it pretty clearly in the intro. There's that low note, which is an octave on those two. So the low E is an octave lower than the B note, the A string, the B note. So you got to tune that way down, way down. The problem is when you don't have a capo on, if you're trying to do that and you tune this down that low, it wobbles. It's so loose it doesn't really sound a note properly. It doesn't. You can't get the sort of resonance out of that string that low. So with the capo though, you can tune it that low, but you get you can actually hear that it's a B. So that solves that problem. So that's why I've got standard tuning with a capo 2, but then that tuned down to match the A string. That's how I arrived at this arrangement. And it works. So let's go through, now that we're 2.5, 3 minutes in, let's go through the chord shapes, right? Right? It goes like that. And I think it is picked with a pick. It doesn't sound like fingers, but it could be fingers. I don't know. I'm going to do it with a pick. And I think the picking is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, starting with the A and ending on the B string. So the chord shapes, he doesn't do them the same every time through, and I don't know if there's sort of an order to it or a logic to it, or he's just getting the feel of it and doing the chord shapes as he sees fit each time through. But it starts on A. The next one is from the capo. D is at 5, G is at 4, B string is open. This next one is that, let's see, action, it's that suspension that Pete does all the time. So this time A is open, as it is in all of these. D at 4, G at 2, B at 3. Then the next one just walks the D string down to 3. So D and B are both at 3. G is at 2. It's that, 10 Years Gone chord. That chord. Open B string, B at 3, B at 3. And I think in the beginning, When he gets down to that A again, he hits the low B note, the low string, to start it over. Now, sometimes he does these chords without the B string covered, all three of them. Other times he does the B covered. Sometimes he does this same first chord you had, except this time the B is covered at the 5th fret along with the D. G's at 4. Same one you did before. B string open on all three chords on those. And you will see the end. Right? So that after you get down, and you, whoops, sorry. I'm looking at this instead of this. G, it's a G basically, but you can't do this. You can't do a G, you can't play the low note on it. So I just do the, you will see, I just do the top part of the G. You will, A, B minor, C, D, C sharp minor, A. Up here at D. But on this, you want to cover both, just barring a D, but you want to cover the low E with it. You will see the end. And then you start over. So that little part is, you probably bar it like that. We'll see the end. That's that same suspension. 2 up on D, 1 up on B from an A chord. And then up, A string still up. So now you take that, this is the D thing, you move it up to make an E thing. Back down, then an A. You gotta listen to it to know how that goes, but it's... Imagine a man, a child of any reason, an old man tied up in life. Right, I can't sing it and pick at the same time. I don't know how many of those it does, and then it does it. We'll see the end. Alright, so the next time through, again, listen to the song, but this time through it doesn't go, doesn't do that, it doesn't go up to the E part, it just does this on and off. Then it goes into another one, and you will see the end. Right? It doesn't. It does it faster this time. You will see. Wait. You will see the end. Then it does. Goes into another verse. Don't use the high A string like I just did. I think that's everything. It ends on ends on an A. That's it. Good luck.